Passover. Some think of it as the holiday when the Jews don't eat bread. Yet it is so much more than that from every aspect. First of all, there's a lot more they don't eat. But more importantly, it's a time that is rich with symbolism and scriptural lessons. And there's so much more that goes into preparing for this 7-day holiday. And nowhere in the world do you see this in action more than in Israel. For some, planning begins a month in advance and involves the most stringent cleaning, a ton of shopping, and on the very last day, burning any remaining bread or leaven products just hours before the holiday begins. Some neighborhoods turn into a veritable ghost town as all cafes and restaurants shut down for the week. The ones who do open will have to clear out everything, switch the utensils and plates, and even tables and chairs. Some don't bother opening at all, but will take the time to renovate instead, or simply just take a holiday. These are the activities that grip the nation and send its residents into a tizzy for a few weeks leading up to the holiday, and that's not even counting any political or security complications. I visited 2 Jewish homes to find out what their families do for the holiday and how they prepare. But I am positive that I went into 50 homes, I would find 50 different traditions. So let's take a look at 2 of them.
Like the Jewish people take spring cleaning up 1,000 notches, and because basically the whole thing with Passover is how we have to get rid of all leaven in our houses. Anything that has crackers, bread, cookies, anything that has risen, and this is because this is because when the Israelites were leaving Egypt, we had to we didn't have time for our dough to rise, and so basically we were eating matzah. As we were leaving Egypt and going to the Red Sea and escaping and the Exodus, we were eating unleavened bread. So to this day, then we still eat unleavened bread. But it's also supposed to be a spiritual work that we do, a spiritual service, because the word chametz, it means different things. It can mean chametz literally means, which is leaven. It literally means bitterness, or it means or it can be something. Lachmitz means something that you missed out on, your regrets. It's all different kinds of things, or it's some people say it represents ego. So while we're cleaning, then we're supposed to be kind of reflecting on this and reflecting on the spiritual level and the things that we want to get rid of in our lives. So basically, it's this very intense spring cleaning that people we clean our ovens, we clean our kitchens, we clean every single place where there could have been any crackers or cookies. And people have kids. People have young kids. This basically could be anywhere. You would think that there wouldn't be much to eat because there's so many things. Especially.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. There's not much to eat.
Okay, so I just want to say everyone gains weight on Passover. Everyone.
Wow.
Everyone gains a lot of weight on. There's no way around it, because it's a funny thing. But you would think. You can't eat the regular things, the regular bread. We make regular bread for Shabbat called challah. So we don't have challah, and we don't because we're Ashkenazi, which means that we're of European background, as opposed to the Sephardi Jews who are of more North African or from the Arab countries. So we don't eat rice, we don't eat lentils, we don't eat chickpeas, we don't eat sesame seeds, we don't eat corn. And of course we don't eat bread, and we don't eat wheat, and we don't eat. So you would think that there's not much to eat, but the truth is, we Ashkenazi, the foods that we make are so delicious. Already, we this holiday, I have already purchased 10 boxes of eggs, meaning 300 eggs. And also I have bought, just imagine, I don't know how many pounds it is or kilos of potatoes, but a sack of potatoes is like this. So maybe it has let's say 30 potatoes in it. So I've already purchased maybe eight sacks of potatoes, and I've already gone through half of them. More. I think I've gone already through 5 of them. But so this year, We ordered everything. I basically, and I'm in charge. I'm like, okay, I have everything under control. I got myself an outfit. I did a huge this order, a huge that order, a huge meat order, a huge wine order, a huge everything. And then it's Seder night, and my husband says, I think we have everything, but where is the matzah? And I was like, oh, I think it's in the storage room. And I had actually forgot to buy matzah. Okay, great, I did everything, and I did 99% of what needed to be done. And I had my cleaning ladies this, and my cleaning lady this, and everyone, all together, we had made this whole impossible feat of making Seder, and I'm making Pesach, but I had forgotten actually the most important thing, which was matzah for the Seder table.
Oh my God.
So he says that you shall guard the unleavened bread to ensure that it shall not become leavened at all, because on this very day I brought your hosts or your camps out from the land of Egypt, and you shall observe this day for your generations as an eternal statute. בראשון ב14 יום לחודש בערב תאכלו מצות עד יום ה-21 לחודש בערב. In the first month of Nisan, on the 14th day of the month, in the evening, you shall eat unleavened bread until the 21st day of the month in the evening. So that's it. It's just a commandment from the Bible, from God, to keep it for 7 days.
This
Roughly 3,500 years.
That's amazing.
Roughly, yeah.
Yeah, it's really amazing.
Yeah.
So it's beautiful. That's part of the meaning of the day, is that you're continuing a tradition that's gone back since the time of Moses, and it's a tradition that we got from our parents and that we're passing down to our children, and it's very beautiful to be part of the larger assembly of Israel. We say Klal Yisrael, but it's like the entire people of Israel. People who are even the least connected in general will still keep Passover and meet with their family and their friends and have a Seder together the night of Passover. So Eidot HaMizrach, or Sephardic, means you come from Spanish, Portuguese background. Eidot HaMizrach is Eastern, so Iraq, from the Middle East.
Okay.
Turkey, Iraq, Iran, Yemen, Libya, any of those, Egypt. Okay, so all the Middle Eastern countries.
As with all Jewish practices, depending on where you come from, where your family's background is, and sort of what your community is, the practices will be different, and their cultural differences, customs, minhagim, as you would say. But out of all the holidays, Passover is where the differences seem to be accented the most, precisely because, not just because there's a lot of food you're eating, but because there are a lot of food prohibitions which are community related. So the differences between what the European Jewish communities tend to eat versus what the Eidot HaMizrach, the more Eastern ones eat, is accented, is really very distinct because of the prohibitions regarding legumes and things that are actually not biblically prohibited, but customarily they haven't been eaten for hundreds of years. They weren't eaten in Europe, so that's why there's a lot of differences that seem to be emphasized on this holiday based on food, right? So
like my mom, as a Moroccan, she makes a special soup that's specifically based on fava beans. She makes fava bean soups. That's like a specialty,
Okay.
So and we have rice and we have hummus, which many Ashkenazi families don't do. So you can actually, we are very happy. We can live normally as over Ashkenazi have.
Yeah.
That's why the Ashkenazi have eggs and potatoes.
Exactly. That's why we don't need to buy 8 kilos of potatoes.
Right.
I think anybody who reads the Bible gets the sense of, oh, it's an unleavened bread. Like, you kind of don't think they're eating this. I don't know. I know a lot of people just feel like, oh, they definitely weren't eating that. Like this, I don't know why they just know that, because you've seen other people make flatbreads in the world. So I personally was very influenced, am very influenced by Indian cooking. So I know a lot of, I knew how to make an Indian flatbread from before, and it seemed to me like very adaptable or very appropriate for a matzah. So when I just went over some of the rules and the guidelines to make something that's acceptable to people within the guidelines, I just pretty much adapted that recipe. So that's what I'll be making. You could call it a roti or a chapati.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's just, and let's just do it.
Yeah.
You want to know how John's homemade matzah turned out? Are you interested in how Jenny cleans her house and gets all of her cooking done before Passover? All this and more will be in upcoming videos, So subscribe to make sure that you don't miss them. And also, I want to know from you, if you were Jewish and you had to choose, if you could choose, between Ashkenazi Passover and Sephardic Passover, which one would you go for and why? Put your comments down below and join the discussion. Happy Passover, everyone. Shana haba b'Yerushalayim. Next year in Jerusalem.